Hello, everyone. Welcome to my. Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Drafts from the cheap seats, whatever I call it. I don't know. What do I do with this introduction? Save me, Nez.
Dude, I love the from the sheep seats. I think
From the sheep seats.
I love that. I think that's so clever.
I did not come up with this one. If you watch the last draft, the guy who's got the 1-1 pick, he helped me name the show.
Did he really? I missed the that little micro bit. I was in there in and out. I think the last time you had a stream, I forget what I was doing, but I know I was busy. But normally I pop you up. I'm in my living room. It's like it's nice. It's in the evening. I got you on the big screen, man, and I'm usually like drafting with you. But the last time I was a little busy. But whoever came up with that, yeah, hats off.
Yeah, he's in the newspaper game, so it's his job.
yeah, he's a headliner guy.
Yeah,
or whatever he writes.
Yeah, he's an editor. But yeah, hey, welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored, man. I'm great. I don't read a lot, but I am reading right now this book about the Astros cheating scandal.
Yeah.
And oh dude, is
it good?
Yeah, it's really good. So have you read Astro Ball?
No.
Astro Ball is also good, but like so this I'm like, as you can see, I'm only like 50 pages in, and right now it's like covering Astro Ball's intro, which is like kind of going over like who is Jeff Lunau and like where did he come from and like what was he like. And in Astro Ball, they're like, oh my gosh, the Astros, how did they get so good? So it's just like glowing like remarks, right? So this has a lot of shades of Astro Ball, but it's like actually like corporate, like, and it kind of brings into like the corporate greed a little bit. Like I said, I'm only 50 pages in right now, so they're just kind of covering who Lunau is and like what the culture was like in the early days of him being in the Astros organization. But it's right up my alley because I don't really like the corporate bigwigs and stuff like that. So it's kind of like jabbing at punching up a little bit. So it's really good so far.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes them except for them, by the way.
You would hope. You'd be surprised, man. There's some definite owner sympathizers out there.
That's true.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, that's written by Evan Drellick, I think, isn't how you pronounce it, from The Athletic. Yeah, I downloaded it after you mentioned it. I downloaded or bought it on my phone. I just haven't sat down to read it yet.
Nice,
so,
nice. Yeah, no, it's really good.
He's on one of the Athletic podcasts every week too.
Is he? I'm not sure which one. I need to check out more than just like rates. Okay, that sounds good. I gotta up my podcast game.
Well, I don't know.
I listen to Rates and Barrels and like that's basically it. And whatever podcast Chris is on, Chris Baseball.
Yeah, he's making the rounds. That's awesome.
I love him, man. He's big timing us now.
All right. So I didn't tell you this, but the surprise thing I got here is I wrote down some news. Let's go through some quick news from this week as pitchers and catchers reported.
Yeah.
So number one, DeGrom, side tightness.
Color me shocked.
They're saying it's no big deal, but he's not pitching. He doesn't have anything scheduled yet to throw a bullpen or anything. Basically, right now, that's what pitchers are doing. They've reported they were working with catchers and just sort of warm up 30, 40 pitch bullpen sessions. Dave grew up the Astros fan.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yeah, I know that Dave and I went to Slippery Rock University together. So he's got the best of both worlds, being an Astros and a Pirates fan.
Good night, Chip. Good night. Have a good sleep. So yeah, I haven't done any. Part of my strategy this week was to not play much, so I saw some people saying that DeGrom was dropping a little bit. I don't know.
I drafted today. I said that I wasn't going to be drafting as much, and I have been trying to slow down, just because like I want to let like some news happen. Like I'm already like a third of the way through maxing. I plan on maxing, and DeGrom went where he normally goes. So I'm not sure, but there was also a pretty casual lobby. I will say, not a ton of badges. So I don't know if we got like, and he went in my perfect game draft already as well. So, and that's a slow draft.
Yeah.
So interesting. I mean, I get it, right? I mean, like you kind of expect him to miss games anyways if you're going to take him, and you
Yeah.
just hope that he's healthy when it matters. But I mean, I'm definitely bumping him down.
Yeah, I'm worried because
Yeah,
it's always starts small with him, and then it's
exactly,
like
right. And
two
I mean,
months
in the
later
side,
he's
yeah, the obliques, the side stuff, like that's not good. That's definitely not good. And it's not just like lol Mets anymore, right? It's like, okay, if it's happening in Texas too, I mean, not that like Texas, like not that the Rangers are known for like having an extraordinary like medical staff, but I mean, he's out of New York, so there was like, well, at least it's not New York anymore. Well, here we are again.
yeah. I'm not reading too much into it, but obviously concerned.
Definitely.
Couple of guys out that were originally going to play in the World Baseball Classic that are out due to hammies. Nestor Cortez Jr. and German Marquez both look like they're going to be ready for the season. Nestor already threw a bullpen session today.
Yeah, that was good.
So I don't know what your thoughts on German Marquez are this year, but
I think in the right builds he can help, but like, the fact that they're in cores so often in the playoffs, you don't know like if he's probably gonna be starting one of those games. I think, we could get into this later. I mean, like if you take Herman, like you're almost hoping he gets traded. Like that's kind of the hope with when you take Herman Marquez because he's a really good pitcher, but
he wasn't
he's in
last
the
year.
no, not exactly. Not exactly.
So for me, the really weird bad season, even for him last year, plus Coors half the games, just kind of, I think I'm mostly out. Every once in a while, I'll click his name, but
It's tough. The only time I've taken was by accident, so
okay, yeah.
I'm not on him if I can help it.
And then maybe people won't notice that Nestor actually threw that bullpen, and we can get some value on him.
That would be
Let's
cool.
see. Lance McCullers Jr. has arm soreness after his first bullpen in the spring, which is it's another thing like DeGrom where it's always, or not as throughout his career, but lately he's been having a lot of issues staying healthy.
I didn't know that. You're telling me this for the first time.
Okay.
Is it like forearm?
I don't. Yeah.
Forearm
soreness. They didn't say tightness, but yeah, that's a worry.
That's
all your Pirates friends are here.
Oh, let's go.
Welcome everybody.
Is Kutch still relevant? He's relevant in the dinger.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Don't love his cost. I wish it was like a round or two later or like last pick.
It's too expensive, I think.
He did return a lot of value still last year, so
he did, yeah, but he was playing. I mean, Brewers though. I mean, they had a little bit more around him, as it pains me to say, than he does right now. O'Neal Cruz, wheels up.
Draft him. Yeah,
wheels up. If a guy tells you he's going for 40-40, you just take him at his word.
Yeah. Yeah, usually the thing keeping me from taking O'Neal Cruz is that I'm grabbing a pitcher there. But
yeah, that's what's interesting with these drafts. It's like not only is there cost, but it's like who are your neighbors as well at other positions. And there's really, really good pitching around O'Neal Cruz, and that's tough.
So from your homer stuff to mine, we got Aaron Ashby, who's like might miss a few months with his shoulder stuff.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I was starting to get back into him on the last round again, and then now I'm out. But
yeah, are you gonna have you mixed in any Eric Lauer?
I have not. Well, probably about as much Eric Lauer as I do German Marquez.
Okay,
that sort of 4% sort of guy.
Yeah,
and no Wade Miley yet, just because he doesn't have longevity to me.
Yeah, no, thank you on that.
I think this is a compliment.
It's not. I'm normally not this expanded in my other streams. I'm
Oh,
saying
here,
way
you
too
want
many.
to there?
There we go.
Then you see
There
my
we go.
table though. I don't care about
No,
you.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let the people let the people see. Just let the people see me.
Yeah. All right. And then other bad pitcher news: Brian Bayo, Boston, potential fourth or fifth starter, has got forearm soreness. The plan
Yeah, I
is to
saw
throw Monday, so that'll be a thing to keep an eye on. He's a good late round flyer if he is going to be healthy, but forearm soreness is just like precursor to TJ. I don't know if he's had
Yeah.
it once before, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know his injury history off like the top of my head, but with a young guy like him and a Red Sox team that isn't expected to be like competing for pennants or titles, you can only assume that like if he has forearm tightness or soreness rather, that they're going to be really, really, really careful.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean they don't really have anybody else to throw though, so
That's true. I mean, yeah, they're what are they going to stretch
they
out
got
Tanner
James
Houck, right?
Paxton. Well, Garrett Whitlock is supposed to be stretched out.
Yeah, I wish they hadn't. I love him as a long reliever, but they like you said, like they kind of their hands kind of forced.
Yeah,
But you did mention James Paxton.
Yeah, James Paxton. Who knows? I have not drafted him, but
Oh, I'm surprised. I thought you were into him.
I am. I love that guy. Yeah. Let's see. Good pitcher news. David Robertson says that Noah Syndergaard his velo is up a little bit in his first bullpen. Is that 1 mile per hour? Or is that 3 miles per hour? That's the big key there.
Yeah, I honestly hope it's like not a huge spike, just because he's another injury prone guy. A little bit of velo would obviously be really helpful for him, but you know, I don't want him like throwing too hard. But he's definitely somebody that as I've gone through my exposures, I would like a little bit. I think I need to take a little bit more of.
Yeah, I've got a good amount of him, thankfully,
That's
at
smart.
this point, because if he comes out throwing 95 or whatever, 96, he's gonna shoot up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Other Dodgers pitcher Kershaw is out of the World Baseball Classic, but it's not because he's injured. It's because he might get injured, and they don't want to pay the insurance on losing him for the season. I don't really understand, but I guess
I didn't either.
It makes logical sense that you would have to have like a big insurance on losing somebody in the World Baseball Classic. Like the team could be compensated for that.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's
works.
like if there's like contract language that says like if I get hurt, like I'm guaranteed money, which it kind of seems like, and it's like if I get hurt, no matter what, like you're paying me money. I'm really not sure, but it makes sense. Like Kershaw, he's up there in age. Like I can understand why they wouldn't want him throwing in this, but it's a bummer. But I mean, you can't really blame the teams for some of these decisions.
Right. Yeah. And this doesn't even sound like it was the team. It's just that nobody wouldn't cover. I don't know exactly. It's the same thing for Nathan Eovaldi, who couldn't get insurance. He wanted to play, but so that is worrisome. But I don't think it's don't draft Kershaw if you were already doing it. It's not like any more of a step back than what we expected. Let's see. Nick Pavetta, fan of the Badge Bros chat. He is just delayed a little bit due to having COVID. I think I saw COVID, but now they started calling it illness, so I don't know that. So he's kind of going to be firing up right away here. He doesn't have the stamina yet. Let's see. Got my list here. Lots of people have gained and or lost weight, which is the new thing to report.
That's
how much weight you've changed, which to me is pointless to well, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, I worked on my swing. Like, yeah, of course you did. That's kind of
right.
Table stakes at this point. Oh, I'm working on a new pitch. Yeah. I hope so. Otherwise, you're going to be out of the league.
Yeah, I didn't touch a bat all off season. Like, like no, oh shit. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And then two quick signings. One, Edwin Rios today for the Cubs, which is just like makes the infield. It's a minor league deal, but I just wanted to mention it because I've been on Trey Mancini a little bit as that late outfield guy.
Yeah.
But that's just another depth infield piece. Like if Mancini's going to play first or uh, Will Myers, and it's kind of just a little more muddy if he makes the team.
Yeah,
Uh, but
definitely.
but then the other big one that just happened right before this is Robbie Grossman to the
Yes.
Rangers, and that is I, I I don't think he's viable. I think it's just like a platoon guy who, if none of their other young guys turn out, that he could get more at bats. But it seems mostly like a platoon depth addition.
See, I don't think they're gonna platoon him. I think
Okay.
they want just because. I mean, it's like in the outfield, it's like Adolis, Leote, Tavares. Like, or is Leote gonna like, he's
Yeah.
so. I mean, he's the streakiest guy in the not the streakiest, but I mean, he's just not consistent. Um,
Right.
and now it's Grossman. Um, and after that, it's not good. It's not good. So I think, I mean, he could play his way out of playing time, certainly. I mean, if he's not good, which there's a good chance, they could just be like, well, let's see if some young guy can provide a spark instead. But
Yeah. There's like there's
I
like about.
probably
Oh, go ahead. You're gonna go
I
ahead.
was say I probably could not like, I mean, different skill sets, of course, but like probably in like the Adam Duvall tier of like if you're trying to get different at in the outfield. I mean, a guy that's on like a decent roster, like just maybe catch a spike week, but I mean, you shouldn't be counting on a guy like him to be providing you a score every week. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. I think I'm out unless
Yeah,
I start to see him playing a little bit more in spring, and it seems like he's. I don't know. I just think it's going to be end up a platoon. He had a really bad year last year, except for against lefties, and
hmm
that's sort of probably what he's going to be for to me. But
yeah,
I get your argument
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm definitely not bullish. Like, I'm not. I'm not. I might take him like here and there, just because I do find myself taking a lot of other Rangers for like a cheap
Okay.
stack partner.
Yeah.
But that's about it. That's about it.
All right. Dave, I don't think they'll have World Baseball Classic contests, considering we can't get them to add potential like prospects into the player pool because of the stat provider. I don't imagine they'll be able to
Yeah,
hit
I
it up.
doubt the stat provider has WVC. They might do some pick'ems potentially. That would be
That
kind of
could be.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
we could probably prod him for that, but I don't think we're gonna get any sort of dailies for WBC. And I wouldn't even know how to play it if we did. So
That's true. I would probably try. But
yeah,
I
I'm in there. I'm in there, but it would be I'd be hemorrhaging money if I did.
All right, so I don't know. We're about 20 minutes in here. You want to just draft, or you want to talk about exposures like we said we were going to?
We could do a little bit of maybe a little bit of both. I don't
All
know. We
right,
can whatever.
let's
Let's
do
see
it.
what the lobby's looking like.
Let's get that. All right, let's just do it real quick.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I have the we'll not go quite into as deep, but we both sort of took a break this week and started looking at our exposures. The first thing I got open here is the top ADP, and right now I'm just looking at this is the Spike Week tool, which seems like there's some sort of issue with it right now. I don't know if it's been fixed, but I think they're having some problems with Google accepting their extensions.
Yeah, they're working on it. They said over Twitter.
Yeah. So right now, I'm just the first thing I want to say here is I've decided that I'm not going to factor in my bullpen exposure into how I want to play the dinger.
Nice.
I
I'm not
thought
either.
about it a little bit, and it seems like almost a waste. Not really a waste, but like a sunk cost, more like is a better way to
Yeah.
describe it. Like I had these thoughts and whatever, and now as we get news, if I'm saying, oh, I don't want that guy because I have him in the bullpen, the cost is going to be different in the dinger. The two separate contests just because of the time and the player pool.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I'm with you. I also find if I pay too much attention to my exposures, I think I kind of end up drafting suboptimally. So I think
okay,
when with my slow drafts, I may like I just bought the spike week tool again that you're looking at right here.
yeah,
So in my slow drafts, I think I may pay a little bit more attention. Just kind of see like what kind of combos I have. Because I just realized that my slow draft for the perfect game, I'm literally building the same thing in a slow draft in the dinger. Like my first 4 picks are the exact
yeah,
same of like a slow draft I have going on. So I think I'll use it for slow drafts, but I'm trying to not get too cute with my drafts this year, and try not to mix my exposures up for the sake of like getting flat, so to speak.
yeah. Sure, I understand that. I'm mostly trying to keep it to like a 20-25 max on a guy. So
Hmm.
I'm not going completely
And that's a lot. So I mean,
15%.
that's definitely
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's not like last year where I had some like 30 and 40 guys. I want to avoid that.
Yeah.
The Brandon
But
Belt.
you had the right 30-40s though, did you not? Like I thought I mean,
No, it was
maybe didn't
Brandon
didn't
Belt.
take down the big one. Oh, it was. Damn it.
Um, but no, I got up here quick. The top 10 or the first round ADP. And this column here is my exposure currently. So basically, I'm just taking Judge whenever I get them, and then mixing in. Oh wait, let's see. Yeah, this is sorted by ADP. Yeah, and yeah. So then I'm basically taking Soto, Acuna, Alvarez at. I want those guys all at the same rate. I'm off. I'll mix in some Otani and Julio. I just haven't done it yet, and some Vlad. But mostly, I'm just trying to get over on these outfielders for the most part, outside of Julio and Otani. Just Otani's just a risk that I'm kind of
Yeah.
worried about.
Yeah, dude,
The
I'm with you.
pitching
I
getting
Yeah, no, it's very risky. It is very risky. I mean, there's added risk with him throwing, with him pitching, of course. Um, I'll play him a lot in dailies, of course. You know, I kind of like if he's healthy in the dailies, like I'll take him in there like anytime. You know, like he'll always be
yeah,
a premium outfielder to draft. But I'm with you. At that cost, I find I would just I'm going elsewhere right now.
yep, yeah,
And
and
Julio, I'm with you on Julio. I'm not zero on Julio. I also have like more drafts than you at the moment, but I
yeah,
have a couple more. I have a little bit of Julio, but I'm a little lighter on Julio as well.
yeah. I'd like this to be about around like 5% when I'm done.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's a good benchmark. And I think I have zero Vlad in the dinger right now as well.
I can tell Josh is drafting off of bat projections. This 40% Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
He's a huge value if you go off the bat X. And I
Hmm.
don't I think that's a great guy to go over like that if you're fine with that
I think
risk.
so too. I think he's a pretty good value.
So yeah, the other thing I wanted to do here is go to roster builds.
Nice.
So I have not been very extreme. Basically,
Hmm.
last year I was like all 8 pitcher.
Oh
Uh,
man, I had so many 8 and 9 pitcher builds. So
yeah,
many.
yeah. You can go back on Nez's YouTube channel and see a 0 pitcher video. I
I
remember
still
that.
think that I still think that holds up. I think the concept holds up,
Yeah,
and I don't think that like. And I know like we'll talk. I mean, some of Chris Baseball's data really goes the other direction. I still think that like building in a certain if you're gonna build like zero pitcher, to do it in a certain way makes sense. I don't think I was doing it right. Is the thing.
okay.
I I think I was going 9 pitcher, 8 pitcher, and Like, and I had too much capital early. Like, I think you really got to lean into it heavy if you're going to do it. And I don't think I leaned into it enough
Okay,
last
that
year.
makes sense. Yeah, Chip says, what about 33% Harper? That's, that's your stand. You're gonna maybe take down the playoff weeks if you make it there.
Maybe,
That's that's
maybe.
that's that's it.
Remember Harper's down year though?
Should be 100. Yeah, still amazing. So basically, yeah, I'm just in the 7-7-6, 7-6-7, pretty balanced mode right now. I mean, this is even skewed. I didn't look at this ahead of time. This is even more skewed than I thought it was. So
Yeah.
these 7-7-6 are all take outfield and pitcher early, have a anchor infielder, and then backfill infield later. That's what these guys are for the most part.
Definitely, I would say like the optimal way to draft. If I was telling somebody like, "Hey, I want to get into these drafts. What should I do?" That's the way I would tell most people to draft. I'm pretty spread. I have so like as far as just like my pitcher slot goes, 9,
Mm-hmm.
6. So I have a 6, 7, 8. So I'm like I look kind of similar to you right now.
Yeah.
I 7 feels just good, and I know that we should probably lean into the 5 and 6 a little bit more, but 7 to me feels like a really good sweet spot as far
Yeah.
as pitchers go.
Yeah. Yeah. Just you get that depth. You get 5 early, or not early, early to mid. You want
Like
5 guys
like
before
1
it
or
falls
2.
off the cliff.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm of the belief that I know these late round pitchers, they don't score as much. We know that. Like we have the data to
Yeah.
show that.
Yeah. They didn't last year.
Yeah, they didn't last year, right? I think that there's some decent guys at the end that like I just can't help but like tack on if I'm sitting at like a 4-7-6 build, like and then I'm in
Yep.
my last 3 rounds and I'm like, I see some pitchers that like I know are okay. They may not have insane strikeout totals, but like I don't know. I just and maybe that's a fault, and maybe I'll learn my lesson this year again to not do that. But yeah, I can't help it, man. I can't help it. Some of these guys, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we've been chit chatting for half an hour. We were going to talk about like some individual players, but we'll skip that. That way we don't have to get into the Mitch Keller conversation
Oh,
again. Let's just
we'll
draft.
get there.
Yeah. I don't know
We'll get there.
if you want to jump in. We're hitting the dinger here. Waiting
Oh
for one
wow,
person.
they were waiting for us, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully, people got in. If not, maybe we'll have a non-badge lobby. That's nice.
Do you pay attention to Vegas win totals?
So Vegas, I have not looked at. I did a interesting exercise when the bat win totals came out.
Okay.
And basically, I took the top 5 ADPs of all the teams. Like, so take the top 5 hitters and average their ADPs.
Yeah.
And look at that compared to win totals.
That's cool.
It doesn't really take into consideration pitching, which contributes to the win totals. And then basically I sorted on, I wanted to find the teams that you could stack late that had decent win totals, assuming that they would score more runs, which without factoring in pitching is sort of a really shot in the dark.
You can kind of do that like on your own too. Like you kind of know like what you're looking at, you know what I mean? Like in your own, in this analysis and this exercise that you're doing,
right.
I think you would probably be able to ascertain like, okay, this is buoyed by pitching.
Yeah. So the 2 teams that came out to have like the highest, the number that was
like
biggest
undervalued
average ADP. Yeah. So the undervalued teams in terms of ADP to bat win totals, the 2 ones that stood out were the Marlins, which you can definitely bump down a little bit for the pitching sort of side of thing. A lot of their wins are going to come from pitching, but it did get me into these Luis Arias, Jorge Soler type mini stacks at the end.
Yeah, right.
Or
Like it kind of makes sense.
yeah, or even Avisel Garcia, who's always there at the end. Like these guys that are pretty gross, but put
I
a
used to
couple
be
of them
such an
together.
Avisail guy.
Well, he was a Brewer, so yeah, I was too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they have,
But
which is interesting. I was thinking about this the other day. So the past 2 years, we've had this outfielder on the Brewers that really, had a little bit of ups and downs, but really contributed to the team. We had 2 years ago, it was Garcia. He got traded, or he left, or they didn't sign him, whatever. And then he went to Miami and crapped the bed. And this year, they traded Hunter Renfroe, who was very similar in profile to, I think he's younger, but very similar profile to Avisel Garcia, who really was a key contributor to like keeping the Brewers alive down the stretch. And now he's gone. So I don't want to draw that parallel because I think Renfroe's better and younger, but it's interesting that they did the similar move.
yeah, and then they brought in, of course, like Winker, which I'm pretty excited about as far as like his ADP goes. I think that to me is like a pretty well kept secret.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, he had a down year, but he was playing in Seattle,
He
had
was
some
playing
movement.
hurt.
Was he?
He didn't want to be in Seattle. Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll take Kyle Tucker here.
Yeah,
no
we don't
problem.
have to talk about this. And if we're in the middle of conversation, just to let you know, I mean, I'm the guest, so you have the green light to just like make picks if we're like jamming and you're up or whatever. Like, it's just go ahead. Yeah, I don't know. I like Winker. So do you know what the Brewers win total is right now?
I don't know Vegas, but from the VAT, they were neck and neck with St. Louis. I think Dakota was out. Oh, let's do the double. Let's do the Tucker Schwarber start.
All right, let's do the Discord start.
Yeah,
outfield heavy.
So I don't know what they are for Vegas. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, they are close. They are close to the Cardinals.
Which I'm surprised. Maybe
why don't you guess?
85.
Yep, 85.5.
All right.
Nice. And the Cardinals are 88.5.
Okay, yeah. If I know your Pirates argument is going and looking at the projected WRC pluses, and it's really interesting if you take that and compare it to the Brewers lineup, and like the Brewers have a couple of standouts in Adames and Tellez, but pretty much there's actually a lot of similarity in the actual like projected WRC plus between the Pirates and the Brewers.
Yeah, I would take Burns and Woodruff on my team for sure.
But Burns is looking for a new team.
Oh my gosh, that man, gotta say, as a division rival, I was like snickering when I saw his interview. Like he was so he did not like the arbitration process at all.
Oh man, to tell him that the argument that he was the reason that they did get the playoffs and not that
is bold. That is bold. Like, dude knows he's top dog in the league right now, and like to get told that, like that is absolutely wild. But for me, it's I just think that some of these additions that the Pirates have made have just gone a little under the radar. And I'm not saying that these are giant additions. It's just that like the team, these are different additions than they made last year. Like last year, it was really just like absolute scrubs. This year now, like with adding McCutchen, with like the platoon of Santana and Choi and acquiring Connor Joe for really cheap from the Rockies. This to me shows a commitment to not losing 100 games. and I'll take that. And I like the young guys that they have too. That they have yet to come up. So I think that right now the total is 67.5. and I made my stance on that. I made my bet on that, and that will probably be the only money that I put on the Pirates this year, outside of my best ball shares. So I feel pretty confident in over that. I don't think that they're a 500 team, but I think that that 67.5 is pretty low. And I think a lot of that is just the public perception of the Pirates, which like is deserved.
Yeah. And I think we had this conversation on Twitter, and before any of these totals, you were talking about the team totals and win totals before they were out. And in my mind, when I thought about it, like I put the Pirates and the Cubs a lot closer together than any of the numbers.
So did I. I thought the Pirates would be at like 74, 75. I was really surprised to see them at 67. So that was that was a shock to me. One of the other ones that I
took a shock was it 1 or 2 million you put on it? Did you did you have to pawn the underdog diamond ring to do it?
Yeah, the ring is no longer with me. I had to pawn the ring. One of the more surprising win totals, in my opinion, the Rangers at 82.5. I think that can go over. But I mean, we have the DeGrom stuff happening right now, and they're a top heavy lineup. So I mean, that's a bit of a house of cards. But I did like that. And then there was another one that sorry, let me look here. Angels at 81.5, I think is interesting.
Yeah, those are really interesting because those are two teams that underperformed last year to expectations based on the moves they made previously, and both of them made more moves this offseason. The problem with the Angels is the division, and I don't know how they're going to do there.
Yeah, and the Angels made some moves, like we said, and they got better, but man, they would look so good if they would have made the Rodon signing. That would have really been an awesome move. But I think that the limbo of selling the team kind of fudged that up a little bit. All right, what are you thinking here?
I'm gonna go Dylan Cease here. I'm thinking pitcher.
Okay.
Here. This is Let's see. All right, I like that. And then we take my guy Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah. Brandon Woodruff is my guilty pleasure.
It's okay.
I love him.
You don't have to be guilty about that.
No, he's awesome. And it's a tier. It seems like a tier.
It does. I have questions about these other guys. After it, well, that's not true. I think Luis Castillo is and Zach Wheeler are both pretty great values. I know everybody's on the Christian Javier train, which is fine, and all these other guys are fine, but
Wheeler kind of scares me a teensy bit, just a teensy bit. And I mean, a lot of innings on his arm, and the way he kind of pitched down the stretch for the Phillies, I'm wondering if that kind of took a toll. So Bones, I lived in Kansas City for I've been in Texas and in Dallas for a year. Prior to living in Dallas, I lived in Kansas City for 5 years. So I love sporting hats of teams of wherever I live, and especially if they're not good. I love rocking the hat of a bad team.
Right? Yeah, we got to support the other small market bad teams that are struggling.
Yeah. I can't. I bought a Braves hat before they won the World Series, and now I don't wear it because I can't look like a bandwagon.
Yeah, I have other than Brewers, I have a Twins and a Mariners hat, and those were like my teams as a kid too. So
yeah. Those are cool. Twins hats are pretty underappreciated, I will say. Those are. I like that simple logo.
That classic M, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the black hat, they did change them. I haven't really looked at them.
Yeah, and then another win total, real quick, that I find really interesting is the White Sox So if you had to guess, what would you put the White Sox win total at?
80.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess it's 82.5.
Okay.
So
Were you
I like,
lower or
no,
higher?
I was higher. I was
Okay.
higher than that. Yeah,
Uh,
I like the rotation. I don't know. I like the rotation. I like the lineup. Obviously, health was standing. Excuse me, but
yeah.
I thought that would be higher.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems about right. Just
That
because
grounds me. That grounds me though. Yeah, that kind of brings me
just
back to
they
82.
Dylan Cease has a lot of a wide range of outcomes with how
He
many guys he
does.
puts on base.
And but for our intents and purposes on Underdog, it's nice because like whip whip kind of like, obviously affects the points, like just by
Right.
like trans property. If you're going to allow more hits and walks, you're probably going to give it more on runs, but like it's not it doesn't kill you as much because like he's also nasty as hell and he's going to strike out a ton of guys
Yes.
in the process. So that's
Yeah.
what's kind of nice about this. But it's hard to divorce yourself from that, because when you hear people talk baseball, fantasy baseball, and when you look at Fangraph
Regular
pages or
baseball.
whatever you
Yeah.
choose to look at, yeah, like I mean, you see that and you do that in your analysis. But like honestly, it's a bit of a, you can kind of remove that just slightly. I'm not saying completely, but it's not going to hurt you quite as much.
All right. Well, I was hoping Seager was going to fall to us there.
I've been loading up on Seager lately. Been buying into the fact that he's going to be a big beneficiary of the shift ban.
All right. Oh boy, let's grab Jose
Mm-hmm.
to go with Kyle Tucker.
Stack.
Start a little.
I'm into
Houston
Jose.
stack. Yeah, he's got to pull the ball more.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. There's definitely like batted ball concerns ish.
Then we're gonna go for ceiling here with Chris Bryant.
Nice. Chris Bryant's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm into him too. I really am into him. I mean, obviously he's got the park on his side. I have a ton of him from the bullpen whenever he was like way cheaper. So now it's like I can't get that out of my mind, right? I keep thinking about how cheap I had him in the past. So I'm not as bullish on him right now, or I don't have as much of him, but I still think that as an outfielder in Colorado, like, enough said, kind of.
Yep. Yeah. And he'll move up a round or two if he's looking good in the spring. So now's
definitely
either take him now or well, maybe if he's not, you get a slide, but I don't know. I think you reevaluate then.
Mm-hmm. I'd be surprised if he slid more. I feel like right now is like a really appropriate price for him. I could see like, like at this point it's kind of splitting hairs with like Brandon Nimmo, but like I think Nimmo, like you have a case there. But I like Bryant. But Abreu was definitely somebody that like I was really bullish on. Then like, I listened to like Raisin Barrels and like I heard, kind of like poo on his like batted ball profile. Like looked at it, I'm like, okay, like yeah, there's something here. And then I just kind of came back to like, okay, he's in an absolutely like loaded lineup. I kind of just put those concerns to the side a little bit.
Yeah. They get production out of. They've gotten production out of Yuli Gurriel, so they can get good production out of Jose Abreu.
Exactly. That's kind of where I put it. I do have a question for you. When you draft these, do you put any sort of like extra weight on the fact that because infield is all grouped together, in a sense, sort of like first baseman kind of get undervalued? Do you like target first baseman as much as I do, or no?
I do not because they're first baseman, but just because those are power guys,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So him, Crone, Christian Walker, our super value last year of Nate Lau.
Oh yeah.
These guys that profile to hit, like go on home run streaks. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if Jose is that guy anymore, but Yeah, I can't say that I really think about position outside of catcher.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess it is like I guess that's like a similar thing, right? Where like you want power in this, and yeah, I think I'm back on Nate Lowe again.
Right.
Even though
Yeah.
his price is up compared to last year. Like last year, that was just like so funny.
Right.
He was there all the time. It was the best.
It,
Um,
it's the same as O'Neill Cruz going here. Like it's not because he might strike out 30% of the time because or his he still might do that, but he's going to have
yeah,
those monster weeks where he's just slamming it.
exactly. And I am surprised that he is as high as he is. I thought he would kind of get like the Pirates like bumped down a little bit. I didn't think that people were going to be as excited as O'Neill as they are in this, but I just have to pay the tax now because I
Right.
can't not take him.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, I guess I'm grabbing him.
I probably haven't paid the tax much, but
No.
I definitely am not going to argue against it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did he go? Okay. Oh no. I haven't seen any update on Starling Marte. I'm just looking on Twitter here real quick.
Oh man, it hurts me to like have like none of him.
Yeah,
I really do not
but
take Starling Marte a lot at all.
basically the profile of him. Let's see. Mets fans receive positive injury news.
That's a first.
But the player profile that he is and the age that he's getting to, I have a lot of concerns, but I also know that could really bite me in the butt with the way he plays,
Yeah.
the power and the speed that he could still have. It's
Mhm.
it's it's one of those guys. I'll put it like this: it's one of those guys that I want to be. I want to hold on one second.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Uh, we talked about him. I need more of him. We'll take
All
Cruz.
right, let's go. Let's go. Okay,
Um,
it's a pretty nice balanced start.
yeah, I'll get to my thought here in a second. Um,
I really like this range.
yeah, I like everybody here. I'm going another depth pitcher.
Hmm.
You can make your arguments that Blake Snell isn't a depth pitcher, but when he has good starts, he goes deep into games. Um,
I like Snell a lot there. I think he has. I mean, he's on a great team, and I think that that's definitely like a nice tiebreaker here. Like I love Hunter Green, but
yeah,
the way that he throws and the team that he's on, there's a chance that he's not going to really be there when you need him down the stretch, or like they might not. There's definitely concerns there. Whereas Snell, if the variance goes the right way for him, he could have like I like to compare these guys on good teams that underperform slightly to Kyle Wright having a Kyle Wright-esque season where like everything just kind of falls into place and they just rack up quality starts and wins, even though
yeah,
but Snell has more K upside than Kyle
yeah,
Wright, but like everything kind of worked out in Wright's favor last year.
yeah,
And I could see Snell getting some positive regression in the win category this year.
yeah. And if I didn't have these two like stalwarts in my pitching, I would have gone down to like a Logan Gilbert or a Kyle Wright. These guys that aren't going to be great, probably, but
Hmm.
have shown innings.
Exactly.
So back to Starling Marte. The quote here from Buck Showalter is from yesterday, I think. Yeah, so far so good. We haven't seen anything come to our attention that doesn't make us think he won't start the season. So
Okay.
maybe this might be a buying window for Marte. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's
what I
definitely
was
good to hear.
what I was trying to say is that he's the sort of hitter profile that I don't want to be in the year that it falls off.
Yeah.
So I'd rather miss out on another good year at the risk of being in on him the year it falls off, just on who he is.
Mhm. and it's tough because like the speed could still be there, right? And now that we have these rule changes, he could steal like 60 bases, which like damn, but
Possible,
is the
yeah,
but like is the power still going to be there because he doesn't walk? Like he swings like he doesn't have a
yeah.
really good walk rate. So you kind of
He's got a better
you
hit
know
by pitch rate than a walk rate.
he does get hit by pitches a ton, but he is in like a really sick lineup. So his ceiling is pretty high. Um, but I'm out, man. I'm out right now, and maybe I need to add in a little bit more because like I literally have zero of him in through like 45 dingers right now, which I thought I would have at least had one. I have none right now.
Yeah, it's
And
scary.
yeah, that's my guy, former Pirate and all, but yeah, for his first price, I thought his price would be a little more depressed than it is right now.
I love him because he always looks like he's enjoying playing baseball.
Dude, he looks like he's just like always in a great mood, always
Yeah,
smiling, just like head in the clouds. He's definitely the man for that. Um, yeah, I guess I mean, yeah, he had a better season than I realized last year.
yeah,
He just missed some
totally.
games, but oh man, all right, maybe I'll get back in because 136 WRC plus was way above what I would have guessed for Starling Marte last year. Walk rate 5%, not a huge strikeout rate. So okay, maybe I need to ease
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that's true. So
But
going
yeah, he's
back
risky.
here, Chip saying the White Sox hitter stacks could be the Philly stacks, which is maybe
Yeah, if they can all stay
they're
healthy,
healthy. Yeah,
maybe. I think the Philly stacks are this year's Philly stacks.
yeah, that's they're another team that stood out from the bat total, not due to ADP. Their ADP's higher or
Hmm.
lower, whatever you want to say, this year than it was last year. But their bat X win total is still higher than Vegas. Like even after they did it last year, they didn't really
Yeah,
turn it on until the playoffs. But that was like going into last season. That was the biggest stand that the bat had was on the Phillies offense and their win total, and it's over again this year.
yeah, I was surprised. I thought they would be at they're at 88 and a half. I thought they would be at like 90 or 91.
Oh man, we are getting to the cliff on outfield.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the cliff is here. But
I'm
it's
just
like,
jumping
do you?
ahead. I'm just jumping
Yeah,
ahead to Winker right here.
it's kind of nice to be at the turn because you can't like you kind of have to reach a little bit.
Yeah, and
You don't have
that
to feel so
and
bad
then
about it.
all any of these other guys are just kind of all the same to me.
Hmm.
Lars, I can't take this ADP yet,
No.
and I'm gonna take. Oh, I got three pitchers. I really don't want to miss a pitcher here, but I like these infield guys.
I know, right? That top three is really, really nice. You can't really go wrong.
All right, I'm going with Matt Chapman. We talked about him earlier. He's like one of the
Chapman
biggest
feels
standouts.
Yeah, man. Chapman feels really good. Just like as far as spike weeks that he can provide you, he's playing every single day. His lineup is really, really good. He feels really comfy to click on right now.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? This is a Mike from Moonshots MLB, which is it's a site that's been around a few years that I just noticed this year. He's doing a
Oh,
ton
nice.
of data, like let's say filtering and aggregation on his
Oh,
site.
nice.
So it looks like it's going to be pretty sweet for lineups and research and stuff during the DFS season. And then he's got a bunch of interesting stuff. If you go over check out his YouTube, he's starting to put out some like videos on what's all there, uh, and it's got like a bunch of basically scraping a bunch of the Savant data and giving you way better filters and player comparison type stuff.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yeah,
We
I'm
love
definitely
it.
gonna
We
check it
love
out.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
definitely
love
gonna check it out this year.
mhm. I love to see people, lean into it because we need more We need more nerds out here. So it's always appreciated. I'm really excited to see what the dailies are going to look like this year.
Shane Numi says, any bias against players you're afraid will lead you with very. I think this is a classic Numi typo that I don't know what he's saying.
Players you're afraid will lead you with very low. I mean, I guess, are you afraid to fade? Probably like afraid to fade type question.
Oh, no.
And for me right now, Marte, I think for me right now, based on like our conversation and what I'm seeing,
Sure.
I think that's a pretty good answer for me.
No, the biggest fear for me is to take a big stand against somebody and then talk about it a lot and then be wrong.
Yeah, and just wrong over and over.
It has a lot to do with the hat that you're wearing this year. And Vinny P.
Oh, Vinny P. They got some polarizing guys at KC because like Bobby Witt, I see fall to like 36 in like every draft now. I think his ADP is more like 36 to 40. 31 was way too rich for me. Way too rich for me. I know he has an awesome minor league profile, but I mean, yeah, he might steal a ton of bases. He's got some sweet power, but I think he's just being. I think it's just like a shiny new toy thing, and right. I'm not gonna have a ton of them. But Vinny P is interesting. Vinny P is interesting, and I had a feeling you would be the type to be off of him, because I mean, just look at the guys he goes around. Right, he goes around Nate Lowe. He goes around Christian Walker.
Yeah,
he goes around CJ Cron. All guys that have done it and that are in arguably better situations than Vinny P is in.
I don't know if Christian Walker's in a better situation, but
low key,
maybe. Mostly because they're also contingent on a bunch of young guys.
Yeah, no, that's okay, that's true.
I think he can survive on his own. He's going to do it with home runs, and Vinny P's not going to do it with home runs. That's really what it. If he had a better surrounding cast, I'd probably be. No, I wouldn't be. I'm not gonna lie. it just doesn't profile as a guy to take at 100.
It's crazy. Yeah,
until he's added a little upward angle to his contact.
Yeah, he It's just tough for me to take him around there. I have to kind of look at these guys and like tell myself like, all right, am I in on them for a full season, or can I just like get them in dailies, because I can kind of scratch that itch like, oh man, I really want to have some Vinny P. Do I want to place a season long bet on him, or can I just like play his matchups and take him in the daily format and get like, earn my money on him there? And I think that's kind of like what I'm choosing to do.
Okay. I don't think Shane wants us talking about Arizona.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm or if he truly believes that they're trash. Because
he's smart. All right, we got three pitchers here. We are hitting the pitcher cliff. Basically,
you got three pretty good pitchers though.
Yeah, I want at least one more here.
Mm-hmm. At this next turn.
Yeah, and probably one of these outfielders too.
Now, there's a lot of different profiles of pitchers here. So
yeah, let's go. I've got a ton of Lance Lynn, so we're just going to pass him for now. The guy that stands out to me is Chris Sale. Yeah, I just want to take him now and not when he's throwing when he's looking good in spring. That's pretty much as simple as that goes.
Yeah, I'm into that logic. He's still a really, really tough click for me, but you've got me warming up to him. Okay, now what are you thinking?
All right, I like my guy Eugenio Suarez here.
Yeah, former NL Central tyrant.
Yes. Good dyed hair guy.
I love the Venezuelans that dye their hair. It's the best.
Yeah.
It looks so crazy.
So this puts us at 4.44. This is pushing infield up a little bit higher than I normally do, just because I didn't get that anchor guy
Mm-hmm.
in the first 3 rounds.
It's really interesting. I've been giving it like a ton of thought. I don't have like any answers. Oh yeah. So the D-backs play 5 games in the last week of the
Yeah.
playoffs, and
It's crazy how, like, without really, I don't know how, I still don't know what to do with schedule, I'll be honest, but it's crazy how in a month of these contests being out, everybody's memorized schedules already.
man,
For the playoff
we
week.
are some
We're so
disturbed
gross.
individuals. Really messed up stuff that we're like. I shouldn't know that. I
No,
shouldn't know that stuff.
there's no reason that a random week towards the end of the season, you know how many games Arizona plays. No reason.
Nobody, not even a D-backs diehard fan should know how many games they play in the second to last week of the season. It is so gross, but that's just the type of stuff that we bond over now.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Eugenio. I was a big Eugenio guy when he was on the Reds. I really liked him there. I like him here because he's like never, if he's healthy, he's like never coming off the field.
Yeah.
He's a guy like him and Ty France, along with of course like Julio, like major keystones in this lineup. And if they're going to be successful, it's partly because obviously pitching, but Eugenio is successful as well. So
Yep.
I like it. You know, I think he's a tinge undervalued. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that didn't he lead the league in home runs?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. Yeah,
probably his last season. No, he was bad his last season in Cincinnati.
he was. Yeah, I think it was the year before
Yeah.
that. Let me check his baseball reference. But yeah, I mean, like dude mashes for sure. And had a down year, and I think people still kind of remember that down year.
Yeah, and he didn't last year. He was fine last year.
Yeah, he was absolutely fine. Okay, so I don't think he led, but he had 49 home runs in 2019. But that was also, I believe, that might have been
that was the year, the rabbit ball.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I'll never forgive Manfred for his crimes.
As a more of a fantasy player than a like, I love baseball, but really I look at it all through the lens of fantasy and DFS. Like, it, to me, I try not to get too emotionally wrapped up into anything that's changing. I just want to try and adjust to the changes.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just got to adjust.
Are we going to talk about it? Are hot dogs a sandwich? Is that the next question?
I'll be honest, man. There's not too many like good baseball movies.
I don't. I'll admit to not watching like any of the like adult baseball movies. I think Moneyball is about the only like adult. Like, you want to talk about Rookie of the Year in The Sandlot?
Bro, Rookie of the Year is my answer. Rookie of the Year is a fantastic movie. That is cinema. That is cinema right there.
Yeah.
I think I know like every line of that movie if I was to watch it back.
The correct answer is probably Major League for me, but
Major League is very good. Bull Durham is very good.
Never seen it.
Bull Durham, you should watch Bull Durham. Bull Durham is really good. That one is actually good. Fever Pitch says my buddy Dave. Fever Pitch is hilarious. Fever Pitch is.
I've never seen it, but I'll
Fever Pitch is camp. Like, do you know like the term camp in like art?
Yeah.
Like corny on purpose. It's camp.
Yeah.
It's basically camp.
All right, we're gonna take Austin Hayes here as an outfielder.
Okay, this is interesting. Hayes.
Okay.
Hayes scares the hell out of me a little bit
because of the outfield changes last year, or
I mean,
somebody
yeah,
else?
yeah. I mean, like the home park is ass, and I'm not certain. I mean, he is what he is, I guess. So that's fine. But
All right, I'm gonna take this guy. I was looking at. You sent me over your player exposures because we're gonna talk about that. We didn't really get to it, but he was a guy
yeah,
that stood out uh, on your list to me. So I'm gonna take him here and let you talk about why he's high up on your exposures.
yeah, that kind of came as a surprise to me. I didn't expect to have as much Luis Garcia as I do have.
Mhm.
But I don't think his like spot is going anywhere in the rotation. Especially
Right.
now we're talking like Lance McCullers dealing with his injuries. And he's just like a solid guy. He dang it, I can't remember the stat off the top of my head. Like as far as like his innings thrown, he's like one of the league leaders in innings thrown. And like if you accumulate his like last like 2 or 3 seasons,
Oh,
so
okay.
he's just always out there. Kind of a crafty pitcher. He is going to have to adjust to the pitch clock though, because he has
Yes,
the slowest pace, the little like funky little windup that he has.
and
So that'll be interesting, but he's just
um,
solid, man.
yeah, his innings pitched here 157, 161. If you can get 160 again out of him, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So 300 in the past 3 years, I guess.
The other thing that's come out in the last couple of days is it's not really a rules change so much as a rules enforcement change that they're going to be calling box a lot more on these funky deliveries. So it sounds like he has to actually completely change his delivery because he's
I
got
I
that weird rock
I
the
didn't
baby.
see exactly what was said, but I heard I saw somebody complaining about this on Twitter. So I'll have to like do you remember exactly what it was? It was like he can't like is it just like the motion with the like with his left leg or something that
I
he
I
has
don't
to
know which
change?
part it is. I didn't. This was one of those like I was scrolling. I read the headline.
I know. I need to start like bookmarking tweets more that I find interesting.
Yeah. So I can't find the detail, or I don't have the details,
Wow.
but that is
Yeah,
that is a concern though, to
I
like
didn't
completely change your delivery.
Yeah, I didn't realize I'm at 20% Luis Garcia. I did not know that. I
Okay.
knew I know I like him, but I did not know I was at 20%. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm locked and loaded now. It doesn't touch my top exposed, but it's
Yeah,
up
he's
there.
no Mitch Keller. Um.
I'm gonna save the gospel on him, but
Oh no, no, it's fine. I totally understand the Mitch Keller stuff. Like he's a lot younger than I thought he was when we first started talking about Mitch Keller. He's been typed up so many years in a row that you forget how young he is and like
man, he
adaptable he is.
yeah,
Essentially.
he's just like an enigma a little bit, you know? Yeah, like you said, he's been hyped up for a while. Um, I just kind of buy into some of the changes he made and just like also like getting comfortable in the league because I mean you don't want to like judge a book by its cover literally by like looking at his like boyish face, but he looked like kind of rattled a lot in the league.
Yeah.
Like he just like looked highly uncomfortable. And he did a really cool interview with Tread Athletics. He did some training over there. They have like a YouTube channel, and he talked about it. He was like, "I dreaded having to go out and pitch. He's like, it didn't feel good and it was and he hated it. He literally hated the act of pitching. And as a pitcher, if you've ever been a pitcher in baseball, like you love to pitch. Like when it's time for you to go out on the mound and
Yeah.
throw, like you live for that. So that like and it was obvious. So now he's kind of like bought into like really enjoying pitching again. He modified his slider. Um, I still don't think he should throw his changeup. I think his changeup is absolute garbage. But he added a sinker. He added some sweeping action to his slider, um, and improved his ground ball rate, which could just be a coincidence. It could just be variance. But yeah, I'm buying in. I mean, he's free for me.
Yeah.
So I don't think anything I don't think anything can possibly happen where Mitch Keller's now going in the 16th, like a la like Jeffrey Springs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if you wanna think like other guys that had like that mental block, So if you go back to Corbin Burns before he's Corbin Burns,
Oh my gosh, right?
you saw those like flashes, but he was so bad. He would just unfold.
I don't
We're
know
gonna
that
take
everybody knows how bad Corbin Burns was.
we're gonna take Jonathan India,
He's
probably the
he
most undervalued infielder in the
Jonathan
whole
India
draft.
should not be going where he goes.
Um, and then we are going to take one of these.
Oh man, this is where pitcher feels the exact same. And
Yes,
I
this is a
opt
dice roll anywhere here.
I opt for Cobb normally here, but
Okay.
this is yours.
Uh, we're building this like spring training before spring training starts. Build with
Yeah, I kind of like
Sale
that.
and Flaherty.
Yep.
So these are two guys that could move up multiple rounds.
Would you normally, looking at your pitchers now, or was this a 7 pitcher team for you normally? Or are
Yes.
you
Yeah.
yeah,
Normally, yeah. It just I have
I
no
think so
reason
too.
for it. I have no reason for it other than that's where like you said, that's where I feel the most comfortable.
I mean, you have like guys like Sale and Flaherty who could miss some time, So I think it kind of makes sense to add in a 7th pitcher on this team. Just a matter of
Yeah.
like who it is. Especially if you invest capital into like hitting early, which like I think we both do, especially like outfield. To me, it's I find it really hard to not take 7 pitchers unless I am like going like studs, like straight studs with my not first 5 picks, but my first 5 pitchers are all like within the first 100 picks or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. Same
It
thing.
just feels safer.
Yep. I don't know if we want to lean into that safety. That's
Right.
like
Ugh.
that's not what we're supposed to be doing in best ball, but that's what I do.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you given much thought into, so like obviously the trend right now is outfield early. Outfield early. I mean,
Yeah.
got to get your outfield early. I've been thinking to myself lately a lot like what would it take for this strategy of outfield early like to bust? For like how are people going to fall on their face by taking outfield early? And is
It's
it
right here.
you,
It's
you,
it's this this group of infielders. Like
and you mean like the group of infielders are just going to vastly outscore these outfielders?
yeah. Yeah, there's guys here that have ceilings as big as these guys that we're taking in the first round.
That's I think too. I think part of it is like raw points. I think you sacrifice way too many raw points if you just like lean into it and just completely ignore positions. Um, and then it's also like the unforeseen at the same time. It's like which of these guys that are going in the first 5 rounds, like who's going to bust and who is not going to provide that. I will say outside this first round though, it doesn't look like there's a ton of heavy outfield in this draft. So
No.
that definitely like there's not too many like people to pick on here and like try to poke holes in, but I've been giving like a ton of thought into like into like these meta strategies that are popular right now. Like how can I poke holes in them?
Right.
How do these things fail? And then part of it also on the flip side is like, okay, well, like the guys that are taking early fail, what guys that are going late can provide the same value and then do the same thing. Yeah, outfield is scarce, but you hit the right ones late. And trying to identify those profiles of the late outfielders, I haven't done yet, and I
No.
won't ever do because I don't have a crystal ball.
Right.
But it's something that I've been like racking my brain over because it kind of it's driving me nuts, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to solve this damn game that we're playing.
Yes. I'm 100% with you. That's I keep wanting to get a pick. I thought we were going to have it tonight, getting 11, where we didn't have Kyle Tucker here. And I was going to go infield, and we could talk about that build.
I know, damn it.
I can't resist it.
No, that was Tucker at 11 does not happen.
No, maybe that's wrong. Maybe we need to figure out the next level, right? So we had, we can blame Brendan because it follows his Brendan and Chris baseball.
Yeah.
Basically, it follows their analysis and Brendan writing it up. Basically, we started with outfield, they got shoved up, and then we went into pitchers, elite pitchers. We need those guys for the ceiling that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They got shoved up, and now we're at this point where is there what there has to be a counteract strategy, but what
There
is
has
it?
to.
What is it?
Yeah,
Right.
that's the question.
I'm going to take my sixth and last outfielder here
Okay.
as a guy who burned me last year, and I think I've taken him the last few streams.
He burned me so hard last year.
Dylan Carlson. I
think he burned a lot of people last year, which is why he goes where he goes.
Sorry, I'm thinking here.
No. I'm curious to see what you do.
Well, we're just going to take this safe pitcher. He's sort of safe pitcher in Alex Cobb.
That's his definite brand right now, is that like I'm the safe pitcher with like decent upside, and like I'm gonna throw a lot of innings, and like I throw hard now. Like that's
because normally I'm just gonna throw in bad examples, but a Brian Bayo or Aaron Ashby previously this week.
Mm-hmm.
In this sort of build, I'm gonna throw in one of those guys. Edwin Cabrera is a good one.
So you go for guys that
like
the potential high strikeout upside guys, typically.
Like a Carrasco, a few healthy games sort of thing. A Noah would be great there, but I didn't love any of the other options. I liked Miguel Vargas a lot more when he wasn't taken every draft.
Yeah. Now he's become really popular, which definitely surprised me.
I talked him up quite a bit. And now I'm starting to get a little bit worried. But I think he should have an everyday role still. He doesn't have much power, but he's got a good K rate and he's got I think like an 8% walk rate. It's not great, but it's not like it's a good profile for a rookie where he can succeed in this last round. But it was a lot better preposition when he wasn't taken every draft. I don't know.
He doesn't strike out a ton. I mean, he has a decent strikeout rate now. Like for our current MLB landscape of like last year he struck out 26% of the time, but like throughout the minors he was like, I think he projects more of like a 20% strikeout rate guy. And his walk percentage was low last year. And again, this is a really, really small sample size. First taste of MLB action. So I think he's more like a 10-20 guy as far as like walk to K percentage. And they definitely sound like they're going to count on him to play like all the time. David Peralta being there like definitely kind of like changes that up. But they seem to be relying more on their youth.
The more I've read about that, that's mostly seems like it's going to push Outman to AAA, James Outman. That's like the biggest move there.
And then Trace stays up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he was there for a lot last season. Like I'm not going to take a ton of Trace Thompson, but
right.
I mean, any Trace Thompson, but
okay. You go read some of the articles of when he was succeeding, and it's like last year I went back because what's the guy's name who asked you about it that I jumped on?
King Cap.
King Cap. Oh yeah, from the Football Millionaire.
Yeah,
from the regular season. He was asking you about it, and so I went and dug in, and you go back and read some of those articles about when he was doing well at the end of last season, and it's like it makes sense that he could, but nothing about his profile says that it can keep it up. Like all of his history, the age, all the teams that he's been on, it's like he's reworked his swing. All these things that you're like, yeah, I want to believe in this guy. I just can't mathematically, I can't with the probability of who he was before say that he's going to be what he was in that short period where he was good last year.
Yeah, I mean, slugging 500 and over a sample size of like 250 plate appearances, like that's kind of impressive. But yeah, I'm not gonna have like any Trace Thompson this year, but the fact that he plays for the Dodgers, like if he wasn't a Dodger, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But the fact that he plays for the Dodgers and
Yep.
he's an outfield eligible player, that makes it like conversation worthy. But I'll take bets elsewhere. But yeah, it's better player than I remember from last year. I will
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. And they trusted him in the playoffs. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if team trusts you in the playoffs, it says a lot about what they think about your future is.
Yeah, and to strike out 36% of the time, but also walk a double digit amount, like that is such a strange profile.
Yeah.
That is really weird. And then to also slug a ton. Like, I don't know what to do with you, man. This is I mean, I guess I'll just hope you don't burn me. And if Trace Thompson burns us, then you know what? Good game.
Yep. All right.
Little Rocky stack.
We're going to close this out to pair a little Rocky stack with Chris Bryant. Here's another rookie that probably is all the crapping I do on rookies. Probably all goes for Ezekiel Tovar. Also, like, he does not profile well, but the team he's on doesn't like, they have nobody. Like, I see I'm wish casting here, but I see the scenario where he's leading off when it matters in Coors
Yeah.
in the playoffs for that team.
I like Ezekiel Tovar a lot. I follow a Rockies fan on Twitter. He was super stoked about Tovar's debut. Is he 21? He might have he like just turned so he's 22 in October in August rather. Um and he has a pretty decent profile. Hit well in the minors. Like you said, I could see him being like a leadoff guy for the Rockies. And I mean, if you're a leadoff guy for the Rockies in Colorado, that's nice. And on top of the fact that he's not taken like at all
Yeah,
in these drafts, which is nice for a guy he's gonna be he's gonna be a major leaguer. I think it seems
it is the
I mean
Rockies. So as soon as you expect them to do something, but then
they're gonna
you got
sign some like stupid vet that is middling just to block him.
Ben Gamel. I don't know.
Ben Gamel, Andrelton Simmons. I think he's still out there. Like he's got
Elvis
Rocky written
Andrews.
all over him. Oh my gosh!
Everybody's trying to put Elvis
Andrews.
Andrews on a good team that can use the depth, and he's going to end up as a Rocky. And
That
he
would
be the guy that messes it up.
That's such a Rockies move. Oh my god, that is such a Rockies move. Now I'm scared to see where he ends up.
That was a news item that we didn't hit. I forgot about when I was talking through. Was Grichuk did have a hernia surgery.
Were you taking Grichuk?
Yeah, he got too expensive. I was taking him. Let's see where he's at now. Yeah, I was taking him around 200, a lot more than this.
I don't place a ton of emphasis on like how much guys walk, but like Grichuk refuses to take a base on balls, refuses, and that just to me leaves such a bad taste in my mouth that I have a lot of trouble taking him. Like he has like 2 seasons with an on base percentage over 300 in the last like 5 years.
Yeah,
that to me. That I'm out on that type of guy personally.
It was strictly outfield bat in Coors. Like,
and that's a pretty good thesis. It's a pretty good
it.
thesis.
That'll
do it.
maybe.
I mean he slugs over 400. So
yeah, actually, him and I'm blanking. Charlie Blackmon both got too expensive for me. I don't like taking either right now. They both jumped up a couple rounds.
I have a lot of Blackmon from the bullpen, no doubt. But now it's a little too much for me.
All right, let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't have. Did not share the screen right. Let's see if we can pop it open. No, I didn't share my screen right. But we'll look at it here.
Okay.
So, yeah, like you said, we didn't have anybody really jump outfield up. We have, outside of Rishi Patel at the end here, who went a pretty high infield build. Maz Skills did too, but he still took a Zach Wheeler. Let's see. INCU has a first Max Fried. This is probably the most extreme draft here, but this is a really huge. Oh, I like this a lot. This guy is leaning into the stacks. The Judge, Stanton.
Yep. Eloy,
Riley
Luis.
Olsen.
A lot of mini
Eloy
stacks,
Luis.
which feels smart. Like, it's hard to parse through that date, like that article that Tuma put out regarding stacks with Chris's viz. Like Chris mentioned on the Roto pod, like Judge potentially carried a ton of that data potentially.
That could be. Yeah.
If you stacked around Judge, maybe he carried some of that. But I like the idea of a lot of mini stacks. I think is potentially what we're talking about next year is maybe don't go overboard on one team, but take a bunch of guys that are likely to bat within 2 lineup spots of one another.
Yeah, he really filled in his outfield and then took a bunch of pitchers late.
And I like the pitchers that he took too.
Michael Wacha is not a pitcher I want any of.
Not the Wacha. No offense, but yeah, I mean that's a pretty extreme build there. I don't know how many pitchers he ended up finishing with, but I think
he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So
see, if my first pitcher was 7, I would probably
go 8.
Yeah, I think I would go 8 there.
Yeah. That was the signing I forgot to mention was Michael Wacha, which I think as a baseball signing, San Diego needed to add someone like him with the depth that they had in their rotation. So it makes a ton of sense for them, but I don't want anything to do with them in this format.
Yeah, I don't think we should expect anything awesome out of Wacha. His results last year, I don't think we should expect to be sticky. He had an odd year last year. He had really good results, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I mean, put him in with the other guys that St. Louis put around their defense that had really good results because of the defense. So Shane's calling out the guy next to him here, H.J. Wigglesworth. I did not notice this, but he did the 0 pitcher build.
Oh wow, he sure did, huh?
Lance McCullers, John Gray, Adam Wainwright, Patrick Sandoval, Andrew Heaney, Sonny Gray. 1,
is that
2,
6?
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Whoa.
That seems really thin, but all of these guys could make noise.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a fun way to play the Chris's philosophy of you only need 6 starting pitchers. Take that to the absolute extreme. Sure, maybe, but yeah. I'm not gonna have a lot of teams that look like that.
No,
but
Shane's gonna take Cole Hamels before Wacha. Okay,
he's one of the Padres too, right?
Was it the Padres? They signed. I forget. I just ignored it because it didn't.
I was like, it doesn't affect me. So, yep, yeah, he's a Padre as well.
Okay, they probably don't need it. I think that was a minor league deal, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. And Nez here. Nez, why don't you put your plugs in and all that good stuff?
Yeah, sure. I'm on the Badge Bros, so search Badge Bros on Twitter. search Badge Bros on YouTube. You will find me, Shane Newman, and Shane Newman, and John Warner on there, talking Underdog all the time, every day of the week. You can find me on Twitter at Nez Takes. If you feel so inclined to follow me, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
I will say that's nice that you guys are doing. Don't have any football content anymore, and it's all basketball because I don't have to watch and get tempted to draft and throw away my baseball bankroll on football.
I know. It's so tilting. Baseball dailies is just like it's the best. It's the best, and we will have a lot of baseball stuff coming up.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like waiting. We got something in the chamber, so we're just kind of waiting for the right time. But yeah, we'll check us out.
Yep. Can't recommend it enough. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.